while the entire MLB is eagerly waiting for Shohei Ohtani to make his decision so that free agency can really get going, rumors are really starting to escalate regarding the Toronto Blue Jays, and a recent report and article suggests that the Mets and Blue Jays could come together to make a blockbuster trade. So we're going to break down all that and much more on this episode of Jays Digest. What's up, Jays fans? I'm Gosse here, host of Jays Digest, and we have a lot to discuss today. Obviously, we're at the part of free agency now and part of the offseason where it's majority speculation, especially because Shohei Ohtani has yet to choose his team. Winter meetings are a couple weeks away, and that is when stuff will really start to pick up. But in the meantime, it's a lot of speculation, a lot of rumors, and it's a fun time, but it's also we're all eagerly waiting. So before we get into this crazy video today, a quick reminder to hit the subscribe button. We're very close at 10,000 subscribers, so scroll down. If you're not subscribed, hit that button as we're on the road to 10,000, and that's a goal we've been trying to hit for a while. Thank you guys for your continued support as we produce daily Jays content. Let's get right into the video today. Now, this one's going to be wild. This one, again, is mainly rumors. It's mainly speculation. MLB.com posted a kind of proposed blockbuster trade between a bunch of teams in the MLB, and the Jays came up. And now this is what the article, basically highlighting what this was. Proposed blockbuster trade with the Mets and the Blue Jays is all risk without much reward. So just giving you some insight on that. So here is the trade. This was a mock trade over at MLB.com. Leading off was a blockbuster deal before the Mets and the Blue Jays. And Blue Jays received Pete Alonso and Jeff McNeil. So the Blue Jays received Pete Alonso, Jeff McNeil, and the Mets received Vladdy and Alek Manoah. Now, I know what we're all thinking because I'm thinking the exact same thing. And the reason I'm covering this today is kind of just to highlight the Alek Manoah and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. situation a little bit and how much their value has changed just because of one bad year for both of them. But this trade is, whether this is just speculation, whether some of the guys at MLB.com have some inside sources thinking, leading them to believe that one of these guys could be traded. We've obviously heard a lot about the Alek Manoah getting traded stuff, so it does make a bit of sense. But first of all, if you're watching right now, go leave a comment what your initial thoughts are on this trade. Now, I think this trade is pretty wild. I mean, the only benefit, if you're trading Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Alek Manoah, two guys who are under control, Manoah much longer than Vladdy, but Vladdy's still under control for 2 more years, you would expect a ransom back if you were the Toronto Blue Jays. You would not give up on 2 young former stars, and Vladdy can still be a star, for a Pete Alonso and Jeff McNeil type of player. And the article basically goes on to say that, the Blue Jays are more in desperation mode to trade Manoah than this deal suggests. And it's kind of, Manoah is a project, could be found elsewhere for cheaper. First baseman replacement Alonso are much tougher to find. So it's kind of highlighting the positives and negatives here. I would argue that a player like Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is the hardest player to find among this deal, who has the ceiling of being a David Ortiz type player who hits absolute nukes. He's already had an MVP caliber season. If it wasn't for Shohei Ohtani in 2021, he would have won MVP. So it's basically an MVP caliber player in the past. Obviously, he hasn't produced as much as you would have wanted him to this year. But this trade to me is wild. We're at the point now where we have articles, we have reporters highlighting the fact that not only are the Blue Jays throwing in their key pieces in trades. We've heard Bo Bichette trade discussions. We've heard Vladdy trade discussions. It seems like around the league, reporters and people seem to think around the industry that the Blue Jays are either, it's no secret that they're going to make a big move this offseason, and we're all hoping that the big move is acquiring Shohei Ohtani or Cody Bellinger or Yamamoto or, maybe to a lesser degree, Jorge Soler and players like that. But it seems like reporters are thinking that the Jays are going to make some huge, crazy blockbuster trade for their star players, whether that's Bo, whether that's Vladdy, and obviously Manoah is not really a star anymore. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't like how the Blue Jays keep getting brought up in these trades with specifically Alek Manoah. I understand that, and if you saw my video yesterday, the relationship could be fractured between the two sides, and if that's the case and you have to trade him, that's okay. But do not throw Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at his lowest point of value into this trade. Me and Peter have discussed this several times. This is the worst possible time to trade Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He is coming off of the worst year of his career. He struggled defensively a lot for following, winning Gold Glove the prior year, and it just makes no sense to trade for a guy like Pete Alonso, who is absolutely what the Blue Jays need, at least from the power. He's hit 46 home runs last year, 40 the year before, 37 the year before. But we're not giving up a generational talent in Vladimir Guerrero Jr. for a Pete Alonso type player. That being said, I think Pete Alonso could be a good fit, maybe as that DH, that first base, I guess work with Vladdy, but you would not give up Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in any sort of trade, period, let alone for a Pete Alonso and Jeff McNeil. If you're trading Vladimir Guerrero Jr., you can assume you're going into a full rebuild, and you would want a ransom of prospects back. You would not want 2 guys who are not young. Pete Alonso's 28. He's obviously not old. They're entering their prime, but they're not young. And Jeff McNeil also isn't young. They're both not prospects, and they wouldn't really, contribute to the future of this team unless the Jays are trying to do a full retool. And you're looking at Vladdy here now. His baseball savant stats and his peripherals are much better than Pete Alonso's. He has that home run ceiling of Pete Alonso. He had 48 back in 2021. This one gets me fired up a little bit. We see the reports here way back when the Jays were kind of, literally 2 days ago, perfect Bo Bichette trade. The Cubs must offer the Blue Jays. These teams are out here thinking that they can just easily get a guy like Bo Bichette, a guy like Vladimir Guerrero Jr., a guy like Alek Manoah even, who's coming off of, again, the worst year in his professional career. But it just goes to highlight how low these guys' value is. And if you look at the baseball kind of trade machine thing, we've used it in the past. I don't have a screenshot for you, but Manoah and Vladdy, if you look at the value of those two compared to the value of Alonso McNeil, they're very, very similar because of how bad the year was. If you do it before last year, this trade would be a catastrophic overpay by the Toronto Blue Jays to acquire Pete Alonso and Jeff McNeil. But because of their down years, other teams are hoping they can capitalize on maybe the Blue Jays being desperate. Maybe they're desperate to trade Manoah. I don't know why they would be desperate to trade Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He's coming off the worst season of his career, like I said before. It makes no sense to trade Vladdy right now. It almost makes no sense to trade Manoah unless your hand is forced in the Manoah trade. And then bringing up Bo Bichette again, it makes even less sense to trade Bo Bichette, who is, in my opinion, one of the core pieces of this team and one that you'd hope the Blue Jays would extend going forward to a long-term extension like I've discussed in previous videos. But the articles are getting crazy, and it was just in a time where there's very, very limited news right now. Nothing is really happening across the MLB. We're having more and more Shohei Ohtani rumors. Might have a video coming for you tomorrow. The Jays are really in this Ohtani sweepstakes, but as that continues to develop towards winter meetings, it doesn't seem like a contract will be signed regarding Shohei Ohtani before the winter meeting. So this speculation is going to continue to happen. Again, we've seen a couple of trades. The Diamondbacks acquired Eugenio Suarez from the Mariners there, but no trades are happening right now, so the articles and MLB and writers are really trying to, push the agenda that the Toronto Blue Jays need to make a trade. They need to make a blockbuster move. And again, reports that came out from Ben Nicholson-Smith, from Shai Davidi, from these reputable reporters, John Heyman, that the Blue Jays are going to make a big move this offseason. But I don't think the move that they're going to make is going to be one that is trading their core players. I think if anything, they're going to let at least next year run it out before they're in their contract years, Bo Bichette and Vladdy, that is, and then see how this core works if you can add one more key player, whether that's a Bellinger, whether that's hopefully a Bellinger, or like a Yamamoto or Shohei Ohtani in the most extreme cases. So I just wanted to get your opinion on this and kind of highlight the fact that this is not a good time to trade Manoah. This is not a good time to trade Vladdy. The value's at an all-time low, and this absolutely highlights this. It suggests this, and it should be shut down immediately. So, I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. That'll wrap up the video. Rumors are really escalating here, and it's getting a little, not scary if you're a Jays fan. I hate to keep seeing these stupid Jays trades, the trades that don't even make any sense whatsoever. Vladdy and Manoah in one trade. Ross Atkins would be fired by tomorrow with the way the Jays fans will react to that. But hopefully we'll get some actual news coming up very, very soon. And thank you guys again for your continued support. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers. Scroll down if you're not subscribed, hit that button, and we'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. And hopefully the Jays make a move. Or Ohtani.